Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. AG investigates deadly shooting outside Dover restaurant. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
Yellow evidence markers were spread out over the sidewalk this morning on Cochico Street, right outside Castaway's restaurant, where a man was found shot Tuesday night. He died from his injuries. Authorities investigated there for hours, blocking off the street in front of the restaurant, taking pictures in front of the building, and focusing on the sidewalk outside. Just after 6 a.m., a tow truck was brought in to haul away a pickup with main plates that had been sitting inside the police tape all morning. The Attorney General's office says they believe they have identified everyone involved in the incident. They don't believe the public is in any danger, but are not saying if anyone is in custody or any more about the circumstances that may have led up to the shooting. Now, an autopsy will be performed today to determine the cause and manner of death. So far, that victim has not been identified. Live in Dover, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. "75-year-old man dies head-on crash on Route 12. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Now to breaking news. State police are investigating a deadly head-on crash in Troy. It happened about 7 this morning on Route 12. One of the drivers, 75-year-old Roger Smith of Keene, died at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle, as well as a young passenger, are both expected to be okay. Route 12 was closed for much of the morning, but is back open now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. BAE expands in Manchester, approved by Executive Council. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hundreds of high-paying jobs will be coming to Manchester. BAE Systems, a defense contractor, will be expanding in the Queen City within a year.
BAE Systems has a long history in New Hampshire. We've been here since the 1950s.
The company has locations in Merrimack, Nashua, and Hudson, and will now open a facility on Goffs Falls Road. The city of Manchester is helping to make it happen by approving a yearly payment of $225,000 in lieu of property taxes for the next decade.
The payment mirrors the current property taxes, which are fixed until 2021, and would help BAE Systems plan for costs associated with site fit-up.
This arrangement is made possible because the company is working with the New Hampshire Business Finance Authority.
For the first 10 years, the Finance Authority will own the building, but after that, the belief is that BAE will purchase the building. To me, it's a great opportunity for us to leverage going forward with other companies that are looking to New Hampshire or specifically Manchester.
Mayor Joyce Craig says this is the first time the city has worked with the state to put forward a proposal like this.
This is a great company to have in Manchester, along with a number of jobs. We're thrilled that they are staying in the state and specifically in Manchester.
Now, the property will be purchased by the end of this year, and the company hopes to be up and running by next fall. Reporting live in Manchester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Community group says someone stole thousands of dollars in gifts for needy families. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Jessica Moran.
Local woman and leader of a community group that was made to help others says on Saturday someone broke into her home on Dunbar Road here in Manchester and stole about $8,000 worth of toys and gift cards. A small group was formed to help people out called the Helping Elves in Manchester 3 years ago to give to local families that needed gifts for Christmas. This year they are helping 32 families. Phyllis Harfield organized the group and says the donations come from people who learn about our organization through social media and word of mouth. On Friday night, the group wrapped many of the gifts, and on Saturday, someone broke in through a bathroom window and stole from just about every family in need.
It makes me feel very betrayed, very scared. Like, my husband works third shift, so now, honestly, I've been sleeping on the couch every night because I just don't want it to happen again. You know, I feel very violated.
Now, Phyllis says she is in need of replenishing those donations, and you can find her group, The Helping Elves, on Facebook. In Manchester, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester man indicted in crash that killed wife and stepdaughter. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Monica Hernandez.
Police say Aaron LaFontaine was drunk and speeding after a day at the beach with his new wife and daughter. 5 months later, the Manchester 29-year-old has been indicted on 2 counts of negligent homicide DUI. Police say the Volkswagen Jetta he was driving ran off the road and rolled over multiple times, killing 39-year-old Rebecca LaFontaine at the scene. Her 14-year-old daughter, Julissa Clem, died at the hospital. This is going to be the family's first Christmas without them. Rebecca LaFontaine leaves behind 3 daughters. Aaron LaFontaine was also injured in that crash. No other vehicles were involved. LaFontaine faces up to 15 years in prison and up to $4,000 in fines per count. In the studio, I'm Monica Hernandez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. The Born to Run Foundation donates prosthetics failed to 3-year-old boy. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cherry.
One minute we were having fun, and the next minute we were on Barnes Road, and I was looking down at my severed leg.
Noelle Lambert knows about loss. In 2016, the Manchester native lost her leg, but found her purpose in life.
Mark, set, go! All right, yeah. There it is.
Today, her foundation made its first prosthetic donation to 3-year-old Isaac DePelto.
I saw a picture of him on Facebook from Next Step Prosthetics, and I was just like, I want to help him.
Isaac has a genetic disease known as neurofibromatosis. At age 2, his leg was amputated, and while Isaac sustained a great loss, the family says it's gained strength because of it.
Inspired daily by what he's able to accomplish, and he does it so seamlessly, and we're just incredibly humbled by the level of support.
Believe it or not, Isaac tried his fiberglass prosthetic on just an hour early.
You run fast with it?
Yeah.
How fast?
So fast.
You know, at first he was a little guarded, but as soon as we had him taking a few steps and break into a run, then you couldn't stop him.
I mean, he's like any other, 3 or 4-year-old. I think this is going to be able to, again, have no limits for him and be able to do any sport that he really wants to.
And breaking down barriers is exactly what the Born to Run Foundation hopes it continues to do.
But I mean, I'm so grateful that it finally has come. I mean, I've been wanting to give back for so long because I was so fortunate for so many helping hands that helped me. So
Lambert is a Division I athlete who plays lacrosse at the University of Massachusetts in Lowell. She says her goal is to help young amputees.
But as the years go by, she says the Born to Run Foundation wants to help amputees of all ages. So nice to see him running.
Young boy, right?
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very good news there. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed flat. US 10-year closed in the red and went down. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed flat. It was not a good day on Wall Street. Dow dives 350 points, closes at new low for the year after Fed hikes rates. U.S. stocks sank Wednesday in wild session after the Federal Reserve raised its benchmark overnight lending rate for the 4th time this year. Trump's troop withdrawal from Syria, a huge mistake, senators say. President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria has drawn the eye of one of his unusual allies, Lindsey Graham. The Republican senator from South Carolina first blasted Trump on Twitter, writing that the withdrawal of roughly 2,000 U.S. troops in Syria would be a huge Obama-like mistake. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.